Oh, we could go on all night long about band camp.
Down at Camp Ernst. That was, well, we had been rehearsing on campus the 2 or 3 years before that, and there was a real desire to get away and get everybody there.
Then we would go out and drill, just drill our little legs off. Well,
the accommodations, they were in cabins which were more like tents, you know, with a hardwood floor.
Well, tradition was that the first year drum majors got to get thrown into a swampy, mucky, algae-filled, nasty-looking pond, and no one knew about it except 2 people who had been in the band for so many years that they remembered that was tradition. And I'm like, great tradition.
And we did that because we couldn't think of a better way for people who didn't know each other to get together.
The band had not played together yet, and we sat down and we started playing a song, and I can't remember what it was, but I just had chills up and down my spine.
First time the whole band was playing.
Right,
yeah.
from the sound of the low brass, it was just so full, and everything else, it blew my mind.
Remember when he picked on?
No, it wasn't me.
But he stood up and he said, "What's this say?"
Says, "What's that button say?"
And some poor little freshman said, "You see bandstand good?" And he was just thoroughly disgusted.
Talk about
Skid night.
Skid night.
Skid night.
He wasn't who always used to do the Mexican midget.
Carl,
Mexican midgets, yeah, he and Curtis. And,
that was a classic.
It was the age-old thing where Curtis put his hands, his black hands, through the sheets, and Dave was doing the feet, and they would do the brush your teeth. It
was a ritual to prepare for it. I mean, you had special every day. There was an outfit that was there was an outfit for every day. There was a persona everyone put on. I couldn't believe all the I don't know, it was like
a beer keg for every day.
Yeah.
It was a fairly trashy house. I mean, I lived there for a summer, and you really couldn't eat there because the kitchen was so bad. You'd walk into the kitchen at night, and you'd flick on the light, and you couldn't see anything, but you could hear lots of lights running through the kitchen. So we kept absolutely no food there. If you wanted to make something, you went out and you bought it, you carried it into the kitchen, you fixed it, and you got out of the kitchen. You know?
On the porch was a porch swing, a couple of chairs, and a commode. There was a toilet sitting on the front porch.
It was a nice big house. There was plenty of room for everybody, and we'd get. I honestly remember buying, I think, 6 kegs and lining them up in there, and we'd run out and have to go out and
and there'd be like the beer was on one floor, the hard liquor was on another floor.
Illegal stuff.
We had AstroTurf from from Nippert Stadium.
It was Nippert Stadium AstroTurf
in the backyard, and
the whole
went
yard.
Into
the lines were still on it.
Yeah, the lines were still on it.
The hot tub
party. We had this little kiddie pool. It was maybe 4 feet in diameter. It fit in the sidewalk between the houses. Down in that tub, and there was like 8 of us, and they were pumping the hot water out of the big.
Guys did Gilligan's Island, and it was so funny because they dressed up as the cast of Gilligan's Island, and the people in each role just were perfect for the role.
It started off at the stadium at the end of practice with ketchup squirting competition, and then it moved to Victor Street, where we had beer chugging and belching competitions.
Yes, in the backyard.
Did Dave Beck win?
Dave Beck always won, but the girls tried really hard.
And the kitchen was the gathering place because we had the kegerator in the kitchen, and we also had a couch, I think, at one point in the kitchen. And you would go in the kitchen thinking, okay, I'm just going to go down and get a drink of water. And 4 hours later, you're still sitting there talking to everybody.
How many people, their best man or their maid of honor in the wedding was from the house that they lived in.
That it was such a wide diversity of students on campus. You know, it wasn't mostly music majors. It wasn't all of one type of. It was a real microcosm of the whole university.
Being in the band made college everything for me. I mean, it was the whole experience. You were a part of what happened on campus.
As freshmen, when you went back to campus for the start of school, you'd be on this campus with 30-some thousand people, and you would walk and you would see people everywhere that you knew, which as a freshman made you feel so much more comfortable.
You know, UC is a very large place, and it can be very easy to feel like you're lost there, and you just one number, and you don't know anybody and stuff. And for me, the band was an instant, I don't want to say family, but almost family. It was an instant group of people that you could immediately identify with.
Hang out with President Stagers, some very important UCAT members, and we were like, wow, you know, we're we're sitting there, you know, just, you know, sitting down talking about, you know, you guys are doing a great job with the band, you this, and, you know, let's try to do something like this for, you know, we're like, okay, President Sager, we'll try anything you want. It's not a problem. It's just really weird talking to you. I'm like, I'm a junior in college, talking with the president of the university. Not many people can do that.
Basically, the Vanities started with Van Pelt, and he was a driving force behind it.
Vanities, I never did many skits. I always did the jazz band thing and helped put some sets together. And I think the memorable things about Vanities was once the final rehearsal was over, staying up to about 4 or 5 in the morning, just putting up sets and getting foam core and everything else.
I think of that one night that you were out there painting some scenery just before the curtain went up, and they took the curtain up, and I was looking through a hole in the scenery at you, and you had your back to the audience, and I said, Carl, the curtain's up. And what you said wouldn't look good on tape.